Lovely seeing you.
So great to see you. Yeah, it's been a while. I'm so glad to be here today. It's all about gratitude for me. We are going to start today's program. Today, the ultimate transformation presents to you Sujata, and this video is going to be published on Ruth Ajaho. So I am the host of this call or this program, and my guest is Sujata. Before we continue, I will introduce myself a little bit and we continue. So my name is Ruth Ajaho Samuelson. I'm a life coach and also a mother of two. I'm from Ghana, but I live in Iceland. So I'm a life coach and I help people to find their purpose in life. And that is my specialty. If you want to organize your life, you want to live your purpose, please don't hesitate to reach out. Today, I'm going to introduce to you my guest, Sujata. Sujata is an amazing woman, and I won't take much time, but I will just tell you a little bit about her. I met her on a social media platform, and this platform is called Clubhouse, and it just took her few seconds to speak for me to find out that we have some special connection, and it all happened from her story. So from there, I believe that there is power in story. But anyway, let me not take all the juice from the main course. So Sujata has accumulated a wealth of experience during her life, leading to insight and knowledge that cannot be coached or taught in any class. She, however, is one of the real mentors who can mentor anyone and everybody on how to deal with life-altering moments and situations. Her book, I said what? Her book, so she's an author, is truly a legal life manual, which I recommend this book to everyone, to anyone who have the interest knowing about life and how to deal with all the experience you have or you've had or you are going through in life. I recommend this book to everyone to have it. So give this book to anyone that you love, your children, your parents, your colleagues, as there is a wisdom that everyone can rely on from this book. And I mean it, anyone can rely on this book. So if you are interested, this is the book. It's called Against, I don't know if you can see it clearly. Okay, you can show it. So it's called Against All Odds. Against All Odds. So you can see that's her beautiful angelic photo on the cover. And I'm telling you, she's one of the human angels I've met. I'm not joking, and I'm not sugarcoating any words for you. I know what I'm talking about. I've met a lot of people. I've seen many people, but my experience with her is different. Take your time to know her and experience what I'm talking about yourself. So it's not my word. So we shall have a session like this on various topics from the book going forward. So please sign up for it once the schedule is set out, or contact me or Sujata and to get the schedules or to get one-on-one coaching with Sujata at any time. If you need her contact, you can always reach out to me, but I will also ask her to share her contact with you in the end. So without wasting time, we will be talking about the book. Please get a copy because we will not give you all the details. That is not going to happen. We urge you to get the book yourself. This is a very powerful book. Before we start, I just want to, there is a part of the book that I love so much about the book though. I don't know where I left that. It talks about there is a place that it talks about the book, about the book says it's what, no, it's, this is a life manual. No, it says no retakes, no manuals, real life lessons. So this book is based on real life story. This is not some fiction or anything. And there's a place I read, I want to read. Yeah. Here, I always remember this whenever something come across me, the uncertainty, whenever I met the uncertainties. It says, in life, there are no manuals or retakes. At a given defining moment, you need to deal with it. Your choice, your mindset, and actions will determine your personality and evolutions. I mean, you can just go on and on, this small line that I read. So from the cover to the back cover of the book is just incredible. Please do well get your copy. So today, the book, the title is Against All Odds. We are going to be talking about Against All Odds. And to begin with, under the contents, the part 1, there is a chapter that says Angels, Endurance, Darkness. So with that, since I said we will not be reading the whole chapters for you, I just want Sujata to give us a little juice on that. So Sujata, the mic is yours, and welcome once again.
Thank you, Ruth, and thank you very much for your kind words. But I must tell the audience it's true about human angels, and I don't believe that it's coincidence or random chance that we meet somebody. I believe that we meet for a purpose, and that's what the immediate connection with Ruth was when we just discovered that we are human angels for each other. Because whenever we speak, trust me, if I had a recording of all that we spoke, it would probably come into another book of wisdom. And there are not a lot of, but there are some human angels like Ruth who have told me that I should record our conversations because it just flows. So when we talk about any life matter, it just flows the wisdom. I don't know from where it comes from, but it just comes from within. And that is how it is. This book has been divided into part 1 and part 2. And in part 1, it is Angels, Endurance, and Darkness. But the chapters, there are lots of chapters in it, and it deals with, your early life, how you shape as a person, how the biggest tutor is tragedy, your background, and how you develop your character. What are the sacrifices or challenges which, give you that character of substance? Because in life, when things happen, you don't have a legal life manual. That's why it's called a legal life manual. It doesn't tell you what to do when people put you down. It doesn't tell you as a child, if your parents are not having the best of relationship with you, where do you go? Do you go to your teachers? Do you go to your religious head? What do you do, right? And children are often left alone to either discover themselves, or they go off the track and may, go into deep dark spaces. And that's how they shape up, because they don't have the support system. So it deals with that. It deals with miracles, because I faced a lot of miracles in my life before I understood the meaning of those miracles. It talks of how I became a career woman, without degrees and certificates, so to speak. There were things which haunted me, and there's so many other things. So it is a whole journey covering so many vast topics, that's why it's called Angels, Endurance, and Darkness.
Wow. Thank you so much. That's so beautiful. So that is the Angels, Endurance, and Darkness. So despite all the tragedies we go through in life, there's always light at the end of the tunnel.
Yes, and it always teaches you that the choices that you make actually shape your life. So
Yeah.
when we deal with grief, when we deal with trauma, when we deal with abuse, it's the choices that we make. Sometimes we may feel that there is no choice, but I say there is always a choice, always. And that choice requires courage, requires resilience. And we may say, how do we do that? This book will teach you how do we do that, because I went through it. And I want every woman, at least, every child, at least, even men, if they are going through a tough time, then they should go through this book. It will give them some kind of courage.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you, because with what the book said, your story here, I mean, if you read the book and you find yourself in that position, immediately you feel like there is no way out, but you came out of all of this. And it's incredible. It's encouraging for everyone to read this book, to understand that, I mean, this shaped my life. Reading this, it shaped my mindset, my thought also, that no matter what we go through, there is always a purpose in that. And so we ask a lot of these empowering questions when we encounter challenges in life. We turn to feel lost and shattered, like you mentioned, grief and all of that. There, it could be abuse, it could be so many ways, domestic issues against women or men. It doesn't matter what it is. This book is like a manual. That's why I think it's important for everyone to read it. This. So with that being said, you mentioned that in the part one of the chapters is the biggest tutor is tragedy.
Yes.
Yeah, the biggest tutor is tragedy. I think there are people out there that can say, no, how can tragedy be my tutor? It's not true. But somehow, if you really sit down and reflect, you can find the truth in this. But I'm not going to speak on this. I want you to give us the insight about this. Like I said earlier, we will not be reading the book word by word, but I'm just going to ask Sujata to talk a little bit about the topics for us to understand. So please get a copy. And if you are watching this, you should subscribe to the YouTube channels that will be posting this to. Wherever you get a copy, follow us and get all the details that Sujata will be pouring out. We will be giving sometimes some free stuffs from the book as well. So please do well to follow. So Sujata, can you please give us a little bit insight on the topic, the chapter, the biggest tutor is your tragedy. It's a
Okay. Okay, so without taking away from the book, I have to actually tell you what it covers, the wisdom and how it came about. So the thing is, picture to yourself, there are children, okay, who lose a parent. And there are children who may lose both parents. And there could be children who are facing the separation of parents, for example, a divorce, and they have to choose sides, or they have to suddenly deal with a parent who is now a single parent. Now, the single parent will have challenges of bringing up children on their own, right? Without the partner. What is the challenge that the parent faces, and how do the children cope with the loss of a parent, including the parent who's now having to look after them has to face her own challenges or his challenges? And what is it, for the children? Because for the children, they are suddenly don't have one parent, or they might lose both parents if it's a divorce. They have to choose sides. How do they cope with it? Has anybody ever thought, how do they cope with it? And how does the single parent cope with all the challenges? Because suddenly that single parent, whether it's the female or the male, they have to bring up children. It's not easy because you never signed up for it. Did you sign up for it when you got married? We don't get a book which says how to be the perfect wife, how to be the perfect mother, how to be the perfect child or sibling, right? You are just thrown into that life moment, and then you have to deal with it. And nobody tells you how to deal with it. And there is grief, there is loneliness, there is things at school which you might have to face. There's bullying, there is belittling. You may want to talk to your single parent. The parent might be dealing with their own challenges. They don't have time to see what you are going through. Where do you go? You may have a teacher or may not have a teacher. You may have nobody. Suppose you have nobody. What do you do? So that is what I'm saying. That biggest tutor is tragedy, because it throws you. It's like throwing a person into the pool. Now, if you throw a baby into the pool, if it's too small, okay, it may not survive. But the natural reflection, if you throw a person into the pool, they have to learn to swim, or they will at least make those reflex action of trying to swim and save their life. So it's literally like that. So when the tragedy and trauma hits you, you are left with a whole variety of things. And those are the times when, even as a child, you actually make a choice. Do you follow what you see? You follow an abusive parent or a person who's having challenges and who's trying to cope, and you decide, okay, this is an inspiration role model of a parent, or you decide this parent is abusive. What do I do then? Do I see and observe, and do I use my own thinking, or I just accept that, okay, this is reality, this is life, and so I become a shadow of what I see? This is where I say that it teaches you, because you do make a choice. However young you are, you do, if you think, and if you're allowed to think, you will. Nobody actually can stop anybody from thinking. And if we don't exercise that choice, then that's how we turn out to be, replicas of our parents or of our system, because the system is always there telling you what not to do. The system never tells you what to do. Have you seen that? From childhood, we are told what to do. Okay, if you're a girl, you have to go into color code pink. All boy, you go into color codes of blue. You are told what games to play, what studies to choose. It's all told to us which religion to follow. It's never told that you think for yourself and you find out what you want to do. Very few actually have that kind of a situation. What if both the parents are killed in a accident? What does the child do? Maybe in foster care, maybe with relatives and all. That's when the child is forced to use their own judgment. And they don't know whether they should or they shouldn't. But I can tell you, thoughts always come in. So do you listen to your conscience, or do you just follow the prescribed format? That's why I said that every tragedy is actually like a tutor. we feel that why was it done to us? Why did God do this? Why did, it happen to me? But actually, it's a chance for you to develop a character which is full of courage, which is full of resilience and all.
Wow. Absolutely. Thank you so much for that clarity. So in that case, what do you advise the when we when we are faced with challenges or tragedies, what do you advise? Because some people seems to back down when things like that hit us. What is your insight on that?
So my insight is, like I said, if depends on what age you are in.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're at a certain age where you can think, I think anywhere upward of 8 onwards, we can think. And 8 upwards, we can have some thoughts about the situation. Now, if we can find somebody who can guide us, it could be a sibling, it could be a older person at school who we look up to, or it could be a teacher who's sympathetic. If we find somebody who we can talk to about our feelings, what we are going through, then take that up. You cannot go at age 8, 9, 10 and sign up for therapy and counseling. And I actually don't advise that, because that's like putting you in the box. I'm sorry, but some of these certified people have no empathy. They don't have real life situations which they can identify with, right? So try to look for somebody who can understand you and who's willing to talk to you. If you find anybody who's elder to you, willing to talk to you without any judgment, do that. And if you can't, then take the help of your conscience, because at the end of the day you might be totally alone. What do you do then? That's what your question is, right? So
Right.
you ask yourself, does it feel right with you? Your gut instinct will always tell you whether it's right or wrong. You won't feel good when you're doing something which doesn't make you feel good, right? You may follow it, but you will always feel that something in your tummy tells you, I don't feel nice. So
Yeah.
follow that gut instinct. If you have resources like books and all, then find out. And nowadays, it's very easy. Like when we were growing up, Ruth, we didn't have technology, right? But
Right.
now I see small children from 5 onwards who have got the gadgets in their hand. The parents give them the smartphone, they give them all kinds of video games and all that. So if you can have access to technology and you're a bright kid means that you can use your brains. A bright kid does not mean having A grades in class or coming at the top of the class. If you can think a little bit and you're smart thinking, just find out the resources where you can go and find out, how do I do what I want to do, you know? And
Right.
there's to deal with grief, I would always say engage in something which keeps you active and not in thoughts, because the greatest drawback is when we are left alone with our thoughts, because thoughts at a certain age can be very confusing,
Yeah.
can be very negative, right? But if you're engaged in, say, a creative idea or a sport and all, even when now today when I mentor people, I'm talking of, say, people who are doing social work or people who are doing, they have their burnouts, right? When they
Right.
come, I always tell them, the moment they say I'm feeling low or depressed, I always tell them, go take a walk, go tidy up something in your room, or just take a coloring book and start coloring. What happens is that the motor coordination of your hands and mind will stop you from going to another path. So children can have access to playing a game, a sport. Nothing, if nothing else, they do a simple, like snakes and ladders, Ludo, something you do which keeps your mind off. And that is something which people can do. And now with technology, I don't know, kids can access anything. I don't know what the parents actually do. Some people have controls over what the child can view or not, but many people just give everything to their children, from TV programs to internet to whatever. So the child should try to see what makes sense, not just follow it blindly, because you don't want to become a zombie.
Right. Oh, that is amazing. Thank you so much for sharing light on that. I personally can say that I've experienced all what you just said. And I'm telling you, it is very important to get this book. It's very deep, and you will learn a lot. You can find yourself from each chapter that you read. And that tells me that stories are very powerful. And whatever you are experiencing in this world, you are not alone. So by hearing someone's story, you will understand where you are dealing with whatever you are dealing with. Sujata, this is very amazing what you've done here with the book and with all the knowledge you have been sharing with people, the mentoring work you are doing. I know you are doing incredible work. So I encourage everyone to reach out to Sujata. Please buy the book and reach out to her to acquire some knowledge. You know, we are in a very challenging time now, very strange time. And like she said, there are no manuals for all these challenges that we are going through, how to get out of it. But it's always very important to talk to someone. You are not alone. You have a story. That person also have a story. So please do connect to someone. But like she said, there are some mentors and coaches out there today. They don't have the empathy for people, for your story. They are only after the cash, the money that you are going to give them. So they will tell you all kinds of lies, pretend with you, and get the cash. But I hope and pray that you will discern the right people when they come to you or when they speak to you, that you can connect with the right people to be on the right path as you promise to be on this earth. So, Sujata, thank you so much. We will not do this for long. Like I said,
Okay.
we will always touch on something and ask you to get the book and ask questions, come back with questions. Sujata is ready to answer any question that you have about life. I mean, it's like magic. She answers every question. It doesn't matter, being the workplace, your home, whatever community, wherever area, whatever area it is, please ask her your questions. So we will be opening this. We will have seminars online for this that people can join and ask her question. We will have our Q&A days, and I will inform you the date so you can join to ask any question you want. Yeah, Sujata, you spoke a lot, and I know that feelings, how it feels to be alone and decide yourself. I will give you the platform to give us your final words and few things before we end this call today.
So my final words are that I'm one of the most accessible person on this planet. And if you want to get in touch with me, I believe in instant messaging. So I will give my number, which is +65 9173 5302. This is not only which I'm giving you right now, it's also mentioned in my book. I'm one of the few people who's put my number in the book. I've put my email address in the book, but you can reach me the fastest way through this, and I will always be there, because I'm prone to say that I'm always there for people, no matter what time or what zone they are in. So yes, reach out to me, and I'm happy if I can help you in your journey in whichever stage you are in. And thank you, Ruth, for giving me this platform, because if I have the wisdom and I don't have an opportunity to share my wisdom, of course, I did it through my book. But this book, as one person wrote a review, that this book is written not just for the sake of writing, but for meaningful conversations to happen. And that is what I want to do, share my wisdom so that nobody should ever be alone.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Sujata, for doing this for us, for being so kind to share with us. I mean, this is giving. You have given the world this treasure, and I hope that the world will recognize this and embrace it and use it for their own good. Thank you so much. So I will repeat Sujata's number again, like she said. You can reach her with this number on WhatsApp. So please, if you are thinking about spending money to call, just reach out to her on WhatsApp, and it is +65 9173 5302. +65 9173 5302. Please do reach out to her on WhatsApp. She's on WhatsApp. She answers your call anytime. She will answer your message anytime. So please do message her and ask if you can call. I think that is much polite than just get up and call someone. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. And please like, subscribe, and share this video. Thank you for being here.